have a mask that same thing. Too bad I didn't wear it.
Good morning. Now is the time for action. Last week you heard about the mission, which is making a connection with everyone that you meet. So this week we are putting that mission into action, the strategy part of the vision frame. Using our values of loving and caring, how do we as Christians pass that along to our outside community, our children's ministry, or our own churchgoers? We need to take our faith wherever it will go, and we need your help and ideas to do that. Our church community has always been more than generous with your time and talents. We need your great ideas. We have an amazing gift. We need to take it outside of these walls.
So the next part of what we're going to do this morning is we're going to do some brainstorming, but I want to let you know what it is we do when we brainstorm. We come up with all kinds of ideas from all of you, but there's some guidelines I want you to follow. No idea is stupid. Everybody's voice is heard. Every idea is welcome. Don't worry how it's going to get done at this point. Don't worry if we need money, if we need more people. Don't worry about any of that. This is a fantasy kind of thing. And then let your imagination run wild. So that's what I want you to do right this very minute. I want you to think about what would you like to see offered through our church? If there was anything that we could offer ourselves as a congregation and to the community, what would it be that you'd like to see happen? Something for the kids and the youth. Something for kids and youth. Can you get more specific?
Trunk or treat. That's just a
You don't have a black magic marker,
what
do
else do
you?
you have?
No, I don't, sorry.
That one doesn't show up.
Well, even
Well, I'm going to hang this, when we're done this morning, I'm going to hang this out in the fellowship hall, and at any time you want to add something to this, feel free to do that. It's a working document, yes.
Okay, so I have to add to Lori's thing. Yes, we need something for the children and the youth, like maybe something along the lines of what they do down in GR. I realize that that's like the biggest UMC church that is around. I'm not looking at it to be that big, but that kind of idea where they have like the Sunday schools like called like faith travelers, so that then they can go to different rooms. They have one to like storytell about it and like flannel board stuff, and then they have another one where it's about making crafts, and then another room, like just like so they can travel to a couple of different places so that they can really be involved in what's going on in our worship too.
So would it be appropriate if I wrote active Sunday school?
Active Sunday school with different variations of what Scott's going over to preach that day, or so that they can be involved in it, and it'd be like a ministry curriculum for the children, and so that they can be involved in what we're doing too. Because if we can bring the children here, the children obviously bring the parents can come here. Then we can have the idea of like young adult groups and that kind of thing, so that we can do small groups too. Sorry, I keep going on.
No, that's okay. I want to put young adult groups on here.
Especially with Ferris, like could we invite Pete Ferris, college students here, and how are we going to get the children bring parents, but we've got to be able to get the parents to want to participate too. So
I will redo this. You're right. It doesn't. You can't read it.
It's all right.
I could be writing anything up there, Gina.
I also think we need to feed our members by having that group and maybe just doing fun activities for, we used to have games a few times, but just someplace where we can all get together and maybe spend a small time sharing your faith or what's happened to you or what's happening to you, and then just go on to someplace where something that we can do just to have a little bit of frivolity in our life or something like that. Not necessarily, we can learn from each other by what we share, but not necessarily have a significant or just
couple things that came up before this were, a book club.
Oh, yeah.
And along the lines of what you were talking about, Gina, someone mentioned a movie and dinner night here.
Thank you. Here's some darker.
Oh, I'll just wait,
Okay.
and I'll do it over, I'm
Okay.
kinda sloppy. Yes, Barb?
Have people sing special music.
Like a special music night?
No,
No.
just in church.
Okay.
Okay. Who else had their hand up? Yes, Gail?
I'm kind of thinking along the same lines Barb is, maybe twice a year or quarterly, instead of a normal worship service, have a special one where we do a drama or a play or have to bring a special group in, that does something, just something to, different, maybe twice or 4 times a year.
All right, someone else had their hand up. Kim?
Going out into the community and, one time I was at a Bible study thing, and we would get like $5, and we'd go out to a store, and you go look for somebody, and you say you want to bless them with something. And we've done it 2 different ways, where you go and, you have a theme, and each group has to get whatever the theme is, and then they give it to somebody in the store.
So like if the theme was baking, they would get some baking supplies and give them to somebody in the store?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Bless people with free stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Blessing them.
Right, I got blessed on there, so this, yeah, this is an outreach. Somebody else had their hand up, yes, Elena, you did?
I have all kinds of ideas, but, I was thinking that like we could, I know at another church that I was going to, they did this thing where it was like a poverty simulation, like where, like, so that we actually had like literally, I think it was, we had like, $5 or something really small, that we had to figure out how to eat on and that kind of thing, and or like what it would be like, so that we would really have a better understanding of what some people may be going through, and then through that, we then decided how to best help the people in the congregation too.
That's a great idea. And I've facilitated that, so that's something we can think about. Yes,
I'm gonna add to Barb's and actually Gail's too. At our church, many years ago, we had just a service of, we got people's favorite hymns, and then we organized them into kind of groups, and the whole service was just music. Of singing your favorite hymns. So we got people to,
so sort of like a hymn sing during church.
yeah, except that we planned it ahead.
Right.
We asked people to submit like 3 of their favorite hymns, and then we kind of organized, and it could be seasonal, it could be Christmas, it could be all sorts of hymns. It was really a nice service.
I bet. I see other hands. What else is on my list?
Coffee at Piz.
Yes, free coffee at Pibbs. So can you explain that?
I think we would have some kind of a little written thing, bless you from the Methodist Church or something like that, and just for maybe an hour or something, buy coffee for everyone that came in. And it just might be a conversation starter.
I just read something about that. It wasn't a church that was doing it, it was just people at this diner, and they called it a hanging cup of coffee. So somebody might come in who couldn't afford a cup of coffee, and they would say, is there a cup of coffee hanging? And they'd say either yes or no, and if it was hanging, then they could have a free cup of coffee. So that's, but I would want us to be, not recognized, but let people know that we're doing this as.
If people would come in, I saw the same thing on Facebook, people would come in and they'd say, I want 2 cups
go.
So there would be extra coffee there, what we call hanging, and then if someone in need came in, was very popular, like in homeless communities and that. and so
Yep.
They would come in and say, do you have any coffee hanging? And they'd say, yes, we do, and so and sometimes it would even be a meal. Didn't just have to be a cup of coffee, it could be like $5 towards a meal, or it could be like a hamburger or whatever.
Another suggestion was Christmas gifts to stay local. And then another one that was on my list is a prayer group that meets. I'm loving it that I'm running out of room.
Amen.
Prayer group meeting,
That could be anywhere, doesn't have to
Right.
be at the church and, yeah,
okay,
just to pray for the country or whatever.
Down like at the park or somewhere outside would be awesome, we might get more people.
sure.
That would be.
During
Especially in January.
weather.
Hey, we have some parties,
people would do it,
we have some
Scott.
party souls around here. Yes,
I was gonna say, since we're trying to include Pine River, at least that's what we've been working on the last several months of how to like connect the school and the church and that kind of thing. I wonder if we could like do like a Christmas drive for the school there, you know, for people that would need it, because I know that a lot of times right now with COVID and the pandemic, things are tight and they may have enough to, you know, barely make the bare necessities, but they wouldn't necessarily have enough to get their kids the presents.
Well, I know NHS does the Christmas drive.
we'd have to find out who else doing it, yes.
Okay, down at Costa County, they had a group called the Angels
Mm-hmm.
that does backpacks for the school kids that are free and reduced. That might be something to start in our area.
There is one going.
There is one.
They already have it.
So is that through Zion Lutheran?
No, it's, the Presbyterian Church.
Oh, okay.
Handles that. It's called, Operation Uplift.
Okay,
So every week they go in and on a Tuesday, I believe it is, and pack backpacks. And
Okay.
they're sending out like 150.
wow. The other thing is, and this is not a diss of what you just said, but free and reduced, children who are eligible for free and reduced lunches have a lot of services. There's a next step up level of families who can't necessarily afford this stuff either. And maybe the next layer up, we don't know. We don't know what people's circumstances are. So don't forget that, you know, there's other
The
families.
working poor are the ones that are kind of caught in the donut hole.
Kim,
I know if we wanna support a family, like with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up and do a meal, I keep in touch, I haven't this year, but I usually talk to the social worker, and she has lots of names and stuff, and if we wanna do that, we can.
okay,
Just let me know and we can, get a list and, you know, just do maybe a couple, it depends on what, you know. But, we could do like dinner, like buy a dinner for a family,
mhm.
so that's another thing too.
Okay. Wow,
That's great.
I'm impressed.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Ladies, good job.
I will,
Are you gonna summarize all those on a sheet, like a letter to the church or something, or the bulletin or something?
I'm gonna redo this and put the sheet out there so you can add to it, but I can certainly have Pam put it in the